like to tell people, for me, it's not only a love story, it's a self-love story. Um, Jeremy and I both were longing for our own personal freedom to be, present in our own lives in another way and to not repeat the same, you know, things that we maybe grew up with in some of our lives. And so when we met, Jeremy had already, been living this life full time. He was the co-founder of Laughing Winds, a transformational community, and he was, a sweat lodge poor. He'd been adopted into the Lakota tribe and carried all these amazing initiations and rites of passage. He was a firewalk instructor. He had a sweat lodge right there on the property that they lived in. And when we got together and I finally found these Toltec ways, he was also a Toltec teacher, I rapidly began to transform. I had done 15 years of therapy and I understood what was going on with me, but I didn't know how to get free and to truly change. And what I quickly found was that all those stories, traumas from my life and generations that came before were in my body. And that through these initiations, this initiatory process, rapidly I transformed and started to get free and present and enjoying my life. So we came together understanding that the soul needs a map of transformation, a way, a guide. And what just kept coming up, we met in a medicine wheel. We were engaged in a medicine wheel. We were married in a self-made medicine wheel where the directions spoke into the life of our marriage. And so we took that map that felt like it had been given to us and we created a story of self-love for people to come through these 7 directions, 7 initiations, back through the medicine wheel of their life to recapitulate, to excavate, and to ultimately remember the love that we are. And it has been an amazing journey for us as we've led it in the United States, in Dallas, in Northern California, and in Nashville. And then obviously in the pyramids of Teotihuacan, where we laid the Toltec medicine wheel of transformation on top of this powerful energetic vortex. What I can tell you is that every single time people's lives are transformed and changed and they fall ultimately in love with their life, with themselves, and a new dream for their life is awakened through this journey um, into their own heart, into their own life.
As well as this Toltec medicine wheel of transformation being a beautiful personal journey of transformation. And it did, I feel like it was somewhat divinely inspired, as when, of course, it's a collection of, our 40 years of different teachings and different trainings and teachers. And as such, these things evolve inside of us. And so when we sat down and we're looking at this symbol of the medicine wheel and how important that was for us, we kind of laid this journey of transformation, but it wasn't just an intellectual journey, right? Each of the directions, we have a teaching and a path, and then immediately following that is an actual initiation. And similar to, talk therapy is beneficial, right? Not that we're doing therapy, but talk therapy is beneficial, and people needing to be heard is beneficial, and to navigate kind of through awareness. But just like experiential therapy, where it's moving the process into the body, these actual shamanic or spiritual initiations um, really start to transform us on a cellular level, and so it gets it into the body and it gets deep, a deep level of transformation that you wouldn't necessarily get from the conversation. In the Toltec medicine wheel as well, my teachers, when I first started teaching, one of the most important things that they did for me was they pushed me to share what I've learned, to be a teacher. And so through our whole program, it's also a training program. And so people will come first and do their own work, which is in some ways the biggest part of the training, right? We often will say, we have to continually do our work, whether we're, being a mentor or teacher or facilitator, we have to even do our work even more. But really, that's the training, like knowing that we've done our own work, walking through our wounds, turning our wounds into our medicine makes us better teachers. And so people will come back to the wheel through the second year as apprentices, and we start a few days early, and we really do a lot of training around how to hold a container, how to walk with people, how to support people, how to create the sacred space, how to facilitate these initiations. Um, and, for a lot of our people, they come back, multiple times just because the process is amazing. They'll come do it in Teo, they might do it in the States, they might come to the online wheel, especially when they really recognize that there's just always another level of freedom that can be facilitated for us. And so it is also a training program for people to, if they want to become a transformational facilitator of the healing arts and learn how to do breath work and initiations and these different ceremonies, and walk with people and hold people through this process. And so it has become, we created it, me and Steph, through, like I said, our wisdom, but, from, we're going on, I don't know, the fifth year of the Toltec Medicine Wheel of Transformation. It's way bigger and more powerful than we ever imagined it to be, and that's why I say it was kind of divinely inspired, this beautiful symphony of, our knowledge, our, symbols, as well as spirit moving through us. And it's just very powerful. It's digestible, I think, for people. Um, and so, and of course, it's not necessarily a linear process, but it's presented in a linear way to navigate through all of the pieces and parts and ages and stages of our life. It's really an amazing program.
So I think one of the things that's so important and why we call it, for me, the Toltec medicine wheel of transformation is because all of us, we all grew up in environments and situations where we were conditioned to believe certain stories about ourselves. It's like embedded in our DNA, even, it, we come by it, as Jeremy says, honestly. And as Toltec dreamers, for me, what we're able to do with something like the medicine wheel and these initiations is to gain awareness of those stories that are running our lives. It could be as simple as, I really honestly, if I'm honest with myself, don't believe that I'm lovable or that I'm worthy or that I'm wanted. As a matter of fact, those are two of the main ones that when people start to excavate on these journeys, become very aware that these are the stories that are running our life in every aspect of our life, all of our relations. And as we become aware, what do we do with that? It's one thing, again, like through therapy, or that we become aware of what our operating system is projecting into the world every day. And when we become aware, that is the most important time that we take those agreements, those stories, those beliefs that are running every part of our life, and we take them to task. We do ceremony and experiences that help us to feel, reveal, and ultimately heal and transform them so that we have an awareness of them when we bump up against them. You know, I have a story of not being wanted or worthy. And so now my awareness is I can bump up against it, feel it like, oh, hello, old friend. And then I can kind of minister or mentor or mother myself in that place very quickly. And that is freedom. That means now that I know my story, I know those agreements, but I'm not living from them. I'm now understanding that I'm wildly compassionate and intuitive, but that I can now live from my true power and my true self-love. And that changes everything, y'all. That is when we're living our freedom, we're living our joy, we're living our purpose. So I just really wanted to share ultimately, that's what happens when we take the time to excavate and then initiate and truly become who we are, which is powerful, loving beings. Well, one of the reasons why I would encourage people to really consider and feeling and into and coming with us is because what happens is your heart and your spirit get fortified. You come back from a journey like this and you feel so alive. It's not just traveling to sacred places. These are spiritual pilgrimages meant to awaken your why, your heart, your mind, your spirit, and get you excited about your life, about who you are, why you're here, and what you want, as Jeremy said. We are the golden threads. We are the ones awakening first to our own self-love and then spreading it everywhere we go. And so every one of these journeys, every time we do a breath work online, it fortifies and awakens and empowers our hearts and that reason why we're here and what we want. So you can imagine if you do a journey online versus going to Greece, to Peru, it truly rocks and transforms your life and your purpose and your vision of why you're here.
Well, as you know, our Toltec Medicine Wheel is our core program, and you can hear our excitement, our belief, and our love in it. And, we know it's last minute, but it could be a beautiful last minute Christmas gift to yourself to join us. We have a few spots opened up for Teotihuacan, December 6th through the 13th. It's a very easy, smooth, all-inclusive journey that you get picked up right at the airport, and you can begin to move into this personal process of transformation and freedom, as Steph had spoken about. So join us.
And we
That's
will be walking the avenue of the dead. This is a journey of letting things die that are no longer serving us and being reborn. We'll be doing a Native American sweat lodge. Jeremy will be leading a fire walk. We'll be doing Toltec's sacred journey breath. And then we'll be journeying to the mountains of Mexico and the state of Durango to the Grutas del Tolantongo. It's like these hot baths of Mexico where we will play and enjoy after doing all this deep dive work.
and part of the beautiful part of these journeys that we go on, these pilgrimages, and weaving those kind of threads of those sacred places, is we really can step into what we want and how we want to live and hold that vibration. And I do think, as exciting as it is, we also have a responsibility. We are the ones. We're here now. It is our job to usher in this new age. And I don't mean that in like you have a responsibility, but like, we have to do our part. And so, of course, um, these journeys are a way to really hold on to that vibration or get into that vibration. But it's like it's exciting and it's messy. It's messy. Birth is messy and we're in that. And so wanting to bring, not that's a reality. There's some painful stuff happening for many people. And so I don't want to minimize that. And at the same time, like Einstein said, we can't fix, I'm butchering this, but we can't fix the problem with the same mind that created the problem. Right? Can't fight the system based on fight with a fight. It's not going to work. So
Well, you guys, as we've shared before, Jeremy and I magically met in a medicine wheel. We were engaged in that same medicine wheel, and then we were married under a medicine wheel that we created. And so when we were looking for that symbol, that map that we could guide souls and ourselves through to transform into our power, into our passion, obviously it was the medicine wheel, and it evolved into the Toltec medicine wheel of transformation. We believe that within our hearts, within our lives, within our stories, old as time, this generation and before, lies the map to our freedom, the map to our living our lives with passion and with purpose. So, this song, The Seven Directions, we lead people through seven directions, seven initiations. This song was born from that. Seven directions, seven ways to pray to all my relations. I give thanks to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, Mother Earth and Father Sky, to the mystery that lives in me, the medicine wheel of a life. Oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya. Round and round we go. Seven directions, seven ways to pray to all my relations. I give thanks to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, Mother Earth and Father Sky, to the mystery that lives in me, the medicine wheel of a life. Oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya. Round and round we go. Hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya. Round and round we go.